Oh, as promised, we're going to make ciabatta bread today. You'll get 3 loaves out of this, just the smallish ones, but you'll get 3. Now, unlike a lot of ciabatta, I'm not going to be doing a starter dough or anything like that, so the only criteria you have to have is for the first 2 hours, be about hands. But this is a very straightforward and simple recipe. So first off, we've got 350 grams of, I'm using bread flour, but you can just use plain flour, which is all-purpose flour if you're in the States. We have 300 ml of warm water, just lukewarm to the touch. And we're going to have a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of yeast, just ordinary easy bake yeast. So we're going to just pop a teaspoon of each of these into a biggish bowl, because you're going to have to work this dough later, so you're just needing a little bit of space. A teaspoon of salt. Oops, come out. Just filled it up, Kenneth. And then we're just going to stir our water straight into this. Now I know that seems a bit strange because often you're told to keep your salt and your yeast apart, but we're not going to be giving it any length of time. You're just giving it a quick stir in, and then just add your flour directly in and stir it round till it's mixed. Now I'm just using a bog standard wooden spoon, which I think the origin of was probably Scotland, but that was maybe the, oh, I'm going to say spurtle, but that's not right. Oh gosh, the thing for the porridge kind of, can you remember? Something like that. Spurtle, sportle. Anyway, this is the first section of this done. Now, the reason I'm telling you that you need to be here for the next 2 hours is because on the half hour, on the 60 minutes and on the 90 minutes, we're going to come and work the dough. So we're just going to take our dinky shower cap, cover it over and leave it either just on the countertop, but just make sure your room's reasonably warm wherever you're leaving it. So we'll start with the first half hour, be back in a minute. Okay, so it's had its first half an hour. Now you'll have realised we didn't need this. It is a very, very wet dough. So at this point, if I was just to use my fingers, you can see they're just completely sticking to it. So just a wee trick, wet your hands first. And what we're going to do here is we're going to just undo your dough and pull it and stretch it, and then turn it 90 degrees, back under, pull and stretch, and you'll do it 4 times obviously, just to work your dough. And this is you starting to get your, hopefully, get your air pockets in. Now if you need to just re-wet your hands, just do so. I should have put a towel under this maybe, Kenny, just to stop it moving a little. Just do it. Now the first time you just do it twice, or you will do it twice for the first time. So again, you're just going under, pulling, stretching and turning it over. 90 degrees, pull, stretch and turn it over. Tuck it in if you like it to be neat and tidy. Pull, stretch, tuck it in, and last time just pull it, stretch it and tuck it in. Now we're just going to cover it again for another half hour, and then, which would then be on the hour, we'll repeat the process, and then on the 90 minutes. So we'll come back in half an hour and we'll just see how it's developing. So again, see you in a wee minute. So we're at the hour mark, and as you can see, it is starting to rise. So all the components that need to do their bit are starting to do what they're meant to do. You can tell I'm really technical when it comes to making bread. I haven't a clue about, obviously I know how to make the bread, but I don't really know the ins and outs and the science. So we've just wet our hands again, and we're just going to do it, just repeat the process. So we're just pulling it out and see how these bubbles are starting to form.
Can't see it with your hand.
Oh, well that's because of, I'll see if I can try and do it with one hand then, shall we? Might need to repeat this one. You might not see the bubbles this time. So there's a couple of bubbles starting to form, see them? So you just stretch it and pull it. Wet my hands again and just do the other 2 sections. So you're only going to do this the 4 times this time. So last one, hope. Distracting me here, Kenny. So we're just stretching and pulling it, tucking it in. and then leaving it again just to do its thing for another half hour. So again, back in a wee minute. Okay, this is the last time, so we're at the 90 minutes. So this is the last time we're going to stretch and fold. If you want to come in, Kenny, do you maybe be able to just pick up, see the bubbles there? And then the bubble over this, oh, they were in the shadow, the bubble over this side there. And this is, you know, this is creating the air pockets for the ciabatta, as long as everything goes according to plan. So we'll just wet our fingers again. Like I said, this is the last one. So just, you'll be getting the hang of it now. In underneath, pull and stretch it over. Turn. And then just pulling it and stretching it over. Just get my hands a little bit more water, it's a little sticky. Just big pulls and stretch. Now this is going to look a bit strange, but for those of you that don't feel confident, I'm going to make a little admission. This is only the second time I've ever made this, and here we are putting it on camera already. So really, don't panic about it. Anyway, this just needs another half an hour now. We'll just cover it back over, put it in the warmth again, and then we'll come back and do the next section. So we'll see you again in another wee minute. Okay, so we're going to do the next section, which I've just said to Kenny I am dreading doing on camera. But anyway, here goes. We shall go for it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Now we're going to have two rather large sections floured here. One for working the bread in a second, and one for leaving it for its final rest. So I'll be transferring from here to there in just a wee second. So we're hoping at this point that gravity will do what it does best. But again, you can see there's a couple of nice big bubbles in it. So this dough's now had its full 2 hours. So we're literally just going to tip it over and hope gravity does what gravity does. It'll just take a wee second. It's always very strange because when I normally make bread, of course you oil the bowls and things, but we haven't done anything like that for this one. The last tiny wee bit, and there it is, just about all came out. So we're just going to flour the top as well, and although you're about to work this dough slightly, you're trying not to take out too much of the air. So what we're going to do is just go under it. I'll flour my hands a bit, and you're just needing to pull it a little. You're trying to create a rectangle. So I'll just put plenty of flour on this end as well, and I will work it this way so as Kenny can hopefully just keep filming. And we're just going to keep pulling it. Something's dinging in the background. I'll just pull it another few times. It is still very sticky obviously, but fingers crossed. And I've gone in and probably done it, what is it, they say curry fist it for myself, but never mind. Oh, and just whilst I'm on it, I'm thinking that I probably called a Scottish wooden spoon thingy a sporrel earlier, but I was remembering it's a spurtle. So what can you do? Right, so we're just apologise. Well, here we go. Scotland, I apologise to Scotland. My forebears will be mortified. Now, if I just do a tiny little bit, I'm actually just encouraging 1 or 2 little air bubbles to go into it. But you're not, like I say, you don't want to overwork it. Now, more flour on my fingers too. We're just going to even up a little bit, and then we're just going to roll it. Now I keep these handy. These are just inserts from binders, folder binders. I don't have all the technical instruments. Anybody that watches will know me. I just make do.
Improvise.
I improvise, yes. So you're just needing to roll this up If it sticks ever so slightly, then that's where these come in handy. Just give it a wee helping hand there. And try not to, you know, overly crush the bubbles. You're not making this tight or anything. These bubbles are just being created as I'm doing this. I can actually see it happening, which for ciabatta makers is a great thing. And then we'll just get the last wee bits. My fingers are sticking here. And I'll just stretch out the ends. Now if you want to, you can actually cut these ends off if you like it to be very neat, but I'm never that bothered. So I'm just going to pinch these in just to seal the last of the fold. Oops. This has got a life of its own. Look at the bubbles coming. And then I'm going to just fold the wee ends under, just to make it a bit neater, not to waste any dough. Then what we're hoping to be doing is just try and make it as even as possible. The longer you take, the more these bubbles will develop too. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, possibly a good thing. But anyway, sorry. We'll let you see the bubbles, see? Now just, and there's another couple coming here. Getting quite excited. Again, we'll just a little bit of flour over the top, just whilst we're working, and I'll just gently pat some on the knife here. Now, you're wanting 3. Okay? So, just about as evenly as you can. The middle section always ends up being the great big one. And just see if we can lift it. And don't worry if it's a bit sticky. Oops. And just transfer them over, and again just get them into the kind of shape that you think you'll be wanting. These will rise slightly. This is going to be a muckle one, Penny. This one better be yours. And then we'll just leave it again. And this is about to get its last rise. So you're just going to cover these with some cling film, or if like me you try and cut down on the cling film as much as possible. Just make sure you've got flour on the top. That's been pinched in a wee bit. But that pinching's just given me another bubble, so that's fine. Just put them into the shape that you're wanting them to be in. This is going to be a baby one, that'll be my one. And you can see how they're starting to formulate already. Okay, we'll just last wee bit of flour just to stop your cloth from sticking, and then you're going to leave these for 45 minutes. Now I'm just going to cover it with a clean tea towel and set the timer and come back in 45 minutes and do the last wee bit. So see you in a minute. Okay, so if we just uncover these, what I've got here, I've just got a piece of parchment here which is approximately the size. I've got a tray upturned in the oven so as it's getting hot. If you've got a piece of stone or that, just use it. So I've cut it out to be approximate, because once I transfer these onto this, we're going to stretch them ever so slightly. Now I just want to show you, this one hasn't really risen to the same as the other two. You can see the bubbles haven't formed on these ones. So I'm going to just leave this one just now, and then whilst these ones are cooking, hopefully this one will just do what it should have done. But as they say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, so what can I say? Ovens. Your oven needs to be a hot oven, so it's on at 230 degrees centigrade, which is 450 Fahrenheit, gas mark 8. Now you're going to cook your ciabatta for 10 minutes at those temperatures, and then turn your ovens down to 200 centigrade, 400 Fahrenheit, gas mark 6 for another 15 minutes, so 25 minutes in all. So we're going to just transfer these over. I'll see if I'll maybe just use this just now and see if we can slide it not too bad. We're trying not to get rid of these air bubbles. But what you're going to do is just stretch it out ever so slightly, which is why you're wanting to have your sheet to just about the size that your tray is, because that'll let you know the length you want it. Technical stuff, Kenny. Or not. Right, I'll go for the second one. Gosh, it's like working with caterpillars or something. And that's just what it's like.
No disrespect to caterpillars.
No disrespect to caterpillars, I don't suppose, indeed. Right, so we're just going to, these have actually gone quite slim. You see what happens with it, do you think? Well, you think that might be the best one? The one I've got no hope over.
If it's got the holes in it, it's got the holes in it.
Well, this is very true. It'll still taste fine, I'm sure. Right. This, I can't believe this was really skinny looking. But never mind. I'm going to just take my tray out just for easiness for transferring. So if we can try and do it quickly so as everything stays quite hot. The reason, I can't remember if I just said that, but the reason you're wanting this hot is because it should help with a crispy bottom. So if we just transfer them over, and hopefully I've got it just about right. Oh, close to the edge, Helen, close to the edge. Thankfully that's still pliable enough to move. This poor one didn't want to go into a kind of... Right, and there you go. Last thing, quick squish with water. Help with the golden.
Keep bleeding its leg up.
Oh, it's going to stick on the oven, the cooker, isn't it? Woohoo! You mean just like that? Kenny's giving me hand movements. These are too big. Again, Kenny, I need to just bring them back a little bit. Poor things, they'll be saying, you're supposed to be being gentle with me. Alright, in we go this time. I'd like to say if these work it'll be a miracle. Right, 10 minutes. And then we'll come back, turn them down, and hopefully in 25 minutes we'll bring out some finished ciabattas. See you there. Okay, moment of truth. It was after I did it, I'm thinking if I did it I'd put them in the inside of the tray, but then it was up a wee bit higher. So gently, obviously, take them back out. And we've certainly got bubbles, Kenneth. And we'll pop them just over onto a baking rack. Now, I'm going to just admit to something here. Just before I put them in the oven, just before I squished them, I should have put a wee bit more flour on them. Hey ho. It was a wonder I did what I did, but anyway. So we are going to attempt to cut one of them just to see if there's any holes in it, because that's the criteria, obviously. We know we've got bubbles, we can see we've got bubbles, so we'll just see if we've got holes. Oh, listen to that sound. Just left it too long there, fingers got a bit. Oh, please, please, please. And there we have holes. See it? We have some holes. There you go. Maybe not as big as some people would like, but we definitely have some holes. So fingers crossed they'll be the whole way through. We'll just cut another piece and see. Oh, I love the sound. It sounds so good. Oh, I think I'm maybe cutting the cloth, Kenny's says. And there you go. You have your holes for your ciabatta. Oh my goodness, I wish I had smelly vision. So, hopefully you'll give this a bash, and hopefully I didn't make it look too complicated. But as always, if you like what you see, follow us, give us a wee follow on YouTube. We're actually doing quite well, trying to get the numbers up, so if you don't mind me asking if you would give us a wee subscribe, would be super. Obviously the Orkney News too, if you want to subscribe, you'll get all the articles, they're all free to do anyway. If you need any help with the recipe, you do always find it on theorkneynews.scot. And thank you for watching. As always, at this time, stay safe. Thank you. Bye.